Hey, you guys. It has been a long time since I've done a power talk. I have been very busy with client events and contractual obligations for clients. And so, anytime you guys don't see me out here in social media world, that usually means that I'm behind the scene working on a few things for other people, which is the perfect segue for what I wanted to talk about today, which I entitled The Entrepreneurial Juggle. Because there are different seasons that we go through as entrepreneurs that you must go through as an entrepreneur in order for your business to be successful, sustainable, and to stay viable. Especially when you are an individual like myself. Hey, good morning. That hey, Montreal. Especially when you're an individual like myself that is multifaceted and multi-talented. And what I mean by that is, hey, Keish, thank you. What I mean by that is that there is an opportunity based on how my business is set up and based on the things that I'm able to do for me to be the client. And then there's an opportunity for me to support clients. And so, as the CEO of my business, I have to know how to have the agility and the intuition to know, or is this the moment to be supporting clients? And I mean, in an ideal situation, you have enough resources and enough time to do both. But that isn't always the way. And so then it's about prioritizing things and understanding that even if I'm in a season of support to clients, which I also view as success. That's the other thing is what success looks like for your business. And so success is subjective and relative to the person. I don't compare what someone else is doing and look at what they're doing and say, that's my success. A young man talked to me recently and he said, I think he asked me like either what does success look like or what's your long game? And I was like, success looks like my company going from a six-figure business to a seven-figure business. Success looks like the ability to hire more people. Success looks like the ability to have my team under one roof. So I'm already working in my purpose. I'm already running my dream company. So now it's about scale and it's about growth. And so I'm already wildly successful in my heart, in my mind, in my spirit, and honestly, financially. I'm able to financially support myself and my family as an entrepreneur. That has been the ultimate goal since creating this company and taking the leap of faith to leave corporate America and to be at a place that I could pay myself the same thing that my value is in the marketplace. And because I made a decision a long time ago that if I could not pay myself what a company was willing to pay me based on my resume, then maybe I should still be working for a company. And not to say that that's going to happen right away. However, um, it should be the goal. And so, first and foremost, entrepreneurs out there listening, or those that aspire to be entrepreneurs, or even if you aspire to just grow within your corporate career, set some goals, set some smart goals. Smart meaning specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and they have a timestamp because a goal without a date attached to it is just a hope and a dream. And it does not eventually transition into a plan. And so, in order to be successful on this entrepreneurial juggle, as I named this power talk, you have to have some very specific goals and you have to constantly be planning. So I was reading an article in the Harvard Business Review, and they did a really good job of breaking out four buckets that really resonated with what I wanted to talk to you about anyway. So no use in recreating the wheel. And so, they said, there's four buckets that entrepreneurs really need to focus on. And they said those were marketing, inventing, producing, and managing. And these are four buckets that you're juggling at the same time as an entrepreneur. And I could not agree more. So let's bust out that marketing piece, especially because I'm a marketer. And so one of the blessings for me in my business is the fact that prior to becoming an entrepreneur, I spent 20 years in sales and marketing. So, marketing is your message. Marketing can also encompass your public relations. Marketing focuses on your messaging and how you share your messaging and your brand's messaging to the public. Marketing also is about selling and business development. Business development is so key. I know so many entrepreneurs and that can get caught up in a specific opportunity or in a specific client that they are not out developing new relationships and new business. And I will tell you that pretty much everything comes to an end. And so if you're not constantly filling the funnel, you'll hear a lot of things around funnel. If you're not constantly filling the funnel with new opportunities, so when old things begin to dry up, or when clients decide to shift, or when life shifts, or if something happens in your life that you need to step back for a moment, that you don't have enough in the funnel, be it in your savings account, be it in your sales funnel, be it in your client funnel to keep you going, then you're going to find yourself in a really tough position. And I'm speaking from experience because I would say my first year having this company, I put all my eggs in the basket of a client who was paying me very well. And the thing is that I got so absorbed in that client's business that it was almost like employment versus contract. And that's the other thing too. You have to set boundaries as an entrepreneur. You have to put everything in writing, be real specific in your terms and conditions, and keep reminding the client, this is what we agreed to. This is what you contracted me for. And do not be afraid to go back and say, would you like to revisit our agreement? Because I am more than willing to do a change order. I am more than willing to send out an additional invoice. You have to manage your business, your time, and your money the same way you manage the business, time, and money of anybody that you've employed for. You have to do it with integrity, you have to do it with boundaries, and you have to do it with tenacity, and you have to do it with consistency, and you have to work your butt off. So don't all of a sudden say, phew, I'm an entrepreneur now, I don't have to work as hard. No, you have to work really hard. You know, they say do what you love, you never work another day in your life. Actually work harder than you ever worked in your life, but because you love it, it won't feel like love. And so, I mean, it won't feel like work. And so I put in more hours than I would have ever put in for someone else because it's my baby, it's my name, it's my brand, and so it's so critical. So the marketing piece is so critical, and so many people try to skip the marketing, or they try to just tagging and texting and not texting, but tagging and forwarding to everybody. That is not marketing. That is not sustainable marketing. That is promotion. And there is a distinct difference between promotion and marketing. Marketing, again, is your messaging. It is a constant evolution. It is a consistent thing that people understand that if they are looking for the particular skill set, product, service that you offer, that you have marketed yourself and explained what you do in such a succinct manner, or you have shown your gifts so well that when they think of those things, they think of you. It's just you. And so if you can do a knockout job with your marketing, then that will help you so much, because then you actually will not have to you should work hard. So I want to say this right. But very much most businesses are a business of reputation and referral. And so if you are out here marketing yourself appropriately, you'll be is all of a sudden people are calling you more than you're calling them. And you're trying to figure out, am I at capacity? Can I take another client on? And that's that sweet spot. And so that marketing is critical. Don't skip the marketing. And if you can't afford to engage a marketer, if you don't have the skill set, I highly recommend it. It doesn't have to be me. And again, I always give these tips. If you think you're engaging a marketing consultant and the first thing they want to talk about is colors, logos, etc., you probably engaged a graphic designer, because there's a big difference between a business consultant, a launch coach, a marketer, someone who is really into brand building, and someone who is very specifically focused on graphic design, who is very specifically focused on um, digital display. That's like there's different skill sets in this game. And so if when you talk to me as a marketer, I don't also say, oh, and I can do your graphics. No, I have a graphic designer that works for me. I have an editor that works for me. Or with me. I have photographers. I have video uh, videographers. I have different people that do different things, because I am not the end all be all. But what I am is I'm the marketing strategist. So I'm the quarterback for that team. And so then as the whole plan lays out and we are working together to figure out what your marketing strategy should be, I can pull in all those resources so you can get a complete product for what it is that you want to put out to the public. And so just think about that and make sure you're really having conversations. And in order to vet someone properly, you need to understand what is marketing. I highly recommend Seth Godin's book, This Is Marketing. He is like the godfather of marketing. So his book is really, really good. So there's another book called Unmarketing. Newer people talking more about marketing and social media stage. The Seth Godin book is going to give you a really good foundation. And especially if you're taking on your own marketing, it's critical. Next bucket was inventing. And so I can't, I talked about at the beginning of this how busy that I've been. And so I am busy with client work. I am busy with other clients' events. I am busy with a lot of different things. But in the background, I'm constantly inventing what's next. So I am constantly journaling, writing, sharing with my team, pulling them together to say, what are we doing next? What does next quarter look like? What does next year look like? What does next season look like? I'm always strategically inventing next and pushing myself for that, because here's, like I said, all things come to an end. And so if you are not inventing and Harvard Business Review used that word inventing, but it's really about creating the next evolution of your business. Because here's the thing, especially if you have a really great idea or really amazing skill set and you've got a really niche area, somebody is on your heels trying to copy, emulate, and ride out every blueprint you're putting out here in the streets. And so they may know what you're currently doing, but if you are constantly inventing and evolving, they don't know your next move. And so just when they think they caught up with you, level up, level up, level up. And this is not, you don't have to do some public proclamation of I'm leveling up. Just they'll see it. Receipts speak. The best marketing campaign you can ever have are change lives and success. So focus on those things. Don't worry about I have blinders on. I'm not looking to my left or my right, because I'm not trying to emulate or be like anyone else. I am focused on being the best me that I can be, and that the PowHER Network can be the best company it can be. And so I am constantly focused on leveling up within, so how we can service our clients better, how we can service different clients, how we can diversify our business. And so when I'm talking about eventing, it may be another stream of income. It may be, I just said to my daughter yesterday, what do you think about, what do you think my next book should be? It's time. What do you think, the next book should be about? And she said to me, I think it should be about how you juggle it all. I think it should be about how you juggle being a mom, a wife, and running your business. She said, especially the things that you've done during the pandemic. And this is my 11-year-old saying this to me. And I know that that's a story that women need to hear. So now I got to spend some time with God to see if He gonna give me the words. However, definitely, I just thought that was out of the mouth of babes, it will come. And here's the thing, I don't mind sharing that with you, because if somebody else feel like they're gonna write that book, you write your story, I write mine. So as long as I write my story, it ain't gonna be the same story. So we good. Next piece is producing. So we talked about marketing, we talked about inventing, leveling up, evolving, and next thing is producing. It doesn't matter how much you market, it doesn't matter how much you invent, it doesn't matter how many new things you put out. If you are not actually producing valuable, proven, impactful things in the marketplace, I mean, if people can't see substantively what it is, if they can't not just qualify it, but quantify it, then what are you doing? If you're not producing income, if you're not producing more clients, if you're not producing opportunities for other people, if you're not producing opportunities um, for your community, if you are not a producer, then you need to ask yourself, is this my hobby? Is this something that I'm slightly interested in? Is this my ministry? Is this my volunteer mission field? Or is this actually my viable business and my legacy that I want to build so strong that I can leave it to my children and my children's children? Like that's a decision to be made. Because other than that, like I would much rather be somebody's dope sergeant than a sloppy general. See, remember the general's at the top, and then everybody else falls under them, and everybody want to be at the top, and everybody want to be the. Guess what? The air is thin up here, so you got to decide. Like, are you willing to be up when everyone else is sleeping? Are you willing to sacrifice the fun? Are you willing to sacrifice the vacations? And it's temporary. Like you sacrifice, think about Beyonce and Jay-Z. I'll use them because they're one of my favorite hardworking couples. When they go on tour, they focus. And then next thing we know, we see them taking a long break because they making so much money in this time. But it may look like a long break, but it's not so long that they are not still inventing, because it may have looked like she was on a break after On the Run 2 finished. But somehow a new Ivy Park collection got out in partnership with Adidas. Black is King came out. She did The Lion King. She raising these twins and Blue Ivy. Chloe and Haley's album came out, which they're signed under her label. So it's really a matter of, as a CEO, you have to be up here as a visionary, making sure you're marketing, inventing, and producing all at the same time. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It is not easy at all. Oh, okay, Sierra, the break is what fuels the next breakthrough. I feel you. And you have to know when to take your breaks. And you have to have made enough money to take a break. I said to my one of my girlfriends yesterday, who is a very successful entrepreneur, I said, man, I just think I want to just take the whole month of December off. And so then we just both bust out laughing. She was like, girl, you're not taking a whole month off. And I said, you're right. Because here's the thing. I can't take a whole month off, because that's a month. I mean, here's the thing, life happens. And so I can't just leisurely take a month off, because then what if something happens to my kids or my husband or myself? And then now you down how many months? I mean, this is a rigorous, continuous thing. And so, I mean, eventually I'll get there, but I'll get there because I have built out the team enough that just because I take a month off, the business does not take a month off. And that is the goal. The goal is that I am working myself out of some of the jobs that I do, because I am finding the right people and the right resources to keep those jobs going, even if Sean needs to take a month off. And so, entrepreneur, guess what? Nobody who grows a successful, viable business does it alone. If your dream is big, is if you can fulfill your dream alone, it's not big enough. And so my goal is I'm always surveying, trying to figure out how to grow the team and how to be able to afford to grow the team in a way that they can be compensated with a fair wage, with a better than fair wage. So, and how I can produce the other me. Leaders produce of themselves. Leaders produce more leaders. I'm not trying to find more followers. I'm good on that. I am trying to produce another leader that can do the things that I do, and that I can teach, and that I can pour into. And so that is what I'm always on the look for. And then the last of the 4 things is managing. You have to manage the business. You have to manage your clients. You have to manage your internal and external stakeholders. We talk about that a lot in corporate. So internally, I have to manage my subcontractors. I have to manage my household. I have to manage my interns. I have to manage the finances, I have to manage the contracts, I have to manage so many different facets of the business. Then externally, I have to manage the clients. I have to manage their expectations. I have to manage the timeline. I have to manage how each one of them communicates and wants to be communicated to. I have to manage things in a way that hopefully they become residual clients and there's repeat business that comes from them, and that we are not just growing them. I mean, some are one and done. Some are short-term engagements. We like short-term engagements. However, some are long-term engagements, and even or become multiple short-term engagements. And so you're marketing your business, you grow the brand, you create the brand, you launch the brand. As you're doing it, you're constantly inventing and evolving. What's next? What's next? What's next? This is the mind of an entrepreneur. And then you're producing. You're producing. And then all that happens, you're also managing. You're also managing the process. You're managing your social media. You're managing, or you're finding someone else to manage your social media, whatever you need to do. And then I'm very much an advocate of the 80-20 rule. Like I said, for most entrepreneurs, it takes a while to get here, because at the beginning, it's all you. And you got to be okay with that. You can't complain about it. This is a lot, well, I always say, I didn't choose this life chose me. Um, and you should feel like that, but also you should feel resilient, and you should feel confident, and you should be, hopefully there's a part of you that knows that the only person that can stop you is you. And so every day when I get up and I get out of bed, and even on the days that I'm exhausted, but I've made a commitment to my clients, to myself, there should be part of managing your business is managing your time appropriately. It is about managing your priorities. It is about managing your level of efficacy or being efficient, how and being effective. So how effective and efficient are you in what it is that you do? Because all of those things will make or break whether you keep a client, whether you get the next client. And then I will also say that hopefully you can get to this space, because at the beginning it's very okay, I made some money this month, am I gonna make some money next month, kind of thing. And the humility in me still has those moments of like, okay, what's next quarter look like, because this quarter kind of rocked, like, and historically it's like, okay, this has been a slow time of the year, historically speaking, in past years. And as soon as I was thinking about, okay, we're good through October, I will tell you my email overflowed with things to fill the October, November void. And we already have something on the books for December. And so it's about calculated risk. It's about trusting the process, but it's also about that inventing and that producing piece. If, let's say, more client work didn't come in between, I was already braced for what I would do and what I would create in the interim to fill that void, because I'm always thinking and I'm always planning. And I'm not just thinking it here, I'm writing it down, and I'm taking notes, and I'm sharing with my accountability partners, and I am taking steps to move it forward. Because don't just talk about it, be about it. Someone said to me recently, like, girl, I'm just trying to fake it till I make it. And I was like, no, 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 no. We don't do that. We face it till we make it. Don't be out here faking it. No, no, you only can fake it for so long. That is exhausting. Like, be your most real, authentic self and watch what happens, and decide, how bad do you want it? Eric Thomas, the great Eric Thomas, says that when you want to be successful, well, let me tell the whole story in case you don't know it. And if you know it, it never hurts to hear it again. So Eric Thomas, great ET to hip hop preacher on Instagram, phenomenal motivational speaker, had the honor of bringing him to Milwaukee last year on behalf of a client. He tells the story about this man, an older man, that took a young man out to the beach, and he asked him, I don't remember the exact, I haven't heard the story in so long, but basically he asked him, how do I become successful? How do I become successful? How do I become successful? And so every time he would ask the man would dunk his head under the water, and to the point that he felt like he was about to drown, and he'd lift him up. And then he'd be like, how do I be successful? He'd dunk him again, and he'd lift him up. And it's like, how do I be successful? He'd dunk him again, and he'd lift him up. And then finally he said to him, when you want to be successful as bad as you wanted to breathe, then you'll be successful. I'm at that stage in my life that with every breath that I take, with every day that I live, with every move that I make, I want to be as successful as every breath that God allows me to breathe. And so, with that being said, I know that I will feel like I'm suffocating if my business is not successful and if I am not working, fulfilling my calling each and every day. It is part of the air that I breathe. And so knowing that, knowing how constricted I would feel if I was not able to do what I love makes me work even harder at it. And so if you don't feel that way about whatever it is you're doing, it can't just be about money. It can't. That won't keep you going. That won't motivate you, and that won't keep you disciplined, because motivation doesn't last as long as discipline. And so you have to really, really, really want whatever it is that you're going after. It's cool to grab some things here and there and pick up some things here and there to make a dollar here and there. That's called a hustle. But when you evolve into true entrepreneurship, when you get out of the grind and you go into managing your business. See, because anything you grind, eventually it gets ground into a pulp. And so I won't be grinding forever. I won't be hustling nobody. I want to be an integrative, confident, resilient, successful, sustainable businesswoman that can leave a legacy that is impactful, not just for me, but for my children, for my community, and for the clients in which I have had the great opportunity to serve. All right, you guys, I hope that you have an amazing day. As a matter of fact, it will be what you make it. So choose to make it great. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, time gives me more time to do more of these, because I love doing them and I love talking to you guys, and I appreciate you. And man, some of the dopest entrepreneurs I know watched this morning. So keep it going, guys. We all in this together.